This conference will now be recorded.
All right, last time what we did was auto filters, advanced filters, and if. I'm confused what I taught you guys. Hold on. Database functions are done. Database done. Auto filtering done. On day 4, we did advanced filtering. Holy, come. And we started with logical operators and logical functions, right? And I think what we've done is only and or. If also we've done. Okay. We have done if function, not nested if. Because I did not give an assignment. So that's how I know I did not complete. Yeah, okay. So today's 5th session. So we'll do nested if. And then we'll start with pivots. Okay, let's say I have a database. I was just asking these guys don't know how to play Holi because none of them is colored. I know, you are the proof, Holi, I am the proof we played Holi exactly. Huh? You can't wash so well. You mean we didn't take bath and come?
No, huh? I obviously have those colors which take for a little bit, more than 2 days.
See, intentions are very clear. And what did you intend, Kindle? We didn't take bath? You're like, I washed myself when I came. Like, we forgot. That part of Holi we forgot. After playing with colors, you supposed to remove them also. Okay, coming back. So let's say we had remove duplicates and click OK. And card types and bonus percentage. Let's say for each card type, when we have different card types, let's say for each card type, I have a different bonus percentage. Like for Ori, let's give them 2%, then let's say 3%, and so on and so forth. Audio is distorted for all. Is audio bad? Yes, all right, 1 second. How about now? Can you guys hear me now? Yeah, let me do one more thing to ensure we don't have audio problem. I think now it should work fine for all. So we have different card types and let's say we give different bonus percentage to each card type. So let's say Audi has 2%, Ford has 3%, and so on and so forth. Right? Now what I want to do is I want to create a column over here for bonus percentage where I can put bonus percentage based on the card that is there. How will you do this question? I want to put bonus percentage based on the car given in this column. And what is the bonus percentage that is given up to us in this particular table that I created? How will you do it? Using if function. Okay, what will be, what is it? How many conditions are there? One or many? More than one? More than one condition is there. So what should you use along with if? And? Is it and? You'll use and or no? There are many conditions. You'll use and or. Monica feels she stepped into a wrong class. What happened? Devasmita is saying or. Pratik is saying and. Others? Arijit says or. VLOOKUP, we are not working on VLOOKUP. So there's a mix of and or. Let's evaluate. When do we use and? When all the conditions need to be met. Now think about it. Do we want all the conditions to be met simultaneously? Can a car be Audi, Ford, GM, Honda, Mazda? No. So can you use an and over here? No. Okay, how about an or? Can we use an or? One of the condition has to be met at a time. Yes? Yes? So if you use an or, you will say if function and or, and in or you will give this car, is this equal to this? Or this is equal to this. So tell me, can I have different car types, like different car types giving different bonus percentages if I'm using or? Or is it going to be one common that I could have given out? Right now, all the cars have different bonus percentage. So each car type has a different output. Is that a possibility in or? How? If I just forget about other cars exist, okay? Let's talk about two cars. If I have to write an or function, can I say Audi give 2%, Ford give 3%? Nested if. Very good. This is not a condition of or also. Even though it's a multiple conditions, and I've taught you that whenever there's a multiple condition, think about and or or. But in this case, you can't even think about and or. And so is out of question. Just because not all the conditions are to be met. Or is also out of question because irrespective whether you're using and or, both of them gear towards one output. One output. All the conditions are met, then do this. There's only one action. Either of the condition is met, then do this. Again, one action is there. But in this case, depending on which condition is met, the actions are different. So whenever you fall in such a situation, that time what we are going to use the nested ifs. That is if inside another if. Hold on one second. I sent my daughter to the wrong. Okay. They managed. So let's try with the nested if how it works. So we start with if function. Nested if means if inside another if. Now if you remember in if function we had three parts. One was logical tests. One was value true and one was value false. Yes, three parts to it. Now where does the second if come? The second if cannot come in the first place. No if comes over here. Why if cannot come over here? Because the first
Logical test was what? Something that gives you true or false as an answer. If does not give true and false, if uses if it true and false. So in the logical test part, never ever there will be an if. So there should not be any situation where you are writing something like this. This is wrong. Because the first part of if is logical test, which should give true and false. So where does the second if come? It may come in value of true, it may come in value of false, or it may come in both. Either one or both the places, right? So how do we write it? Now let's see. So we're going to say A equal to if B5 is equal to OD. Then if it is true, what is the bonus? 2%. Else if. Now we are not going to say 0. Why not 0? Because we have other cars that we have to compare it against. So another if will come. So if B5 is equal to the next card, if it is true, then 3%. Else, again an if. So that many ifs you will have to continue. So I'll just finish it off. Almost there. So if B5 is equal to Subaru, then 7%. Else 8%. So I don't have to check whether it's Toyota or not. Okay. So as many conditions are there, your number of ifs would be n minus 1. So in this case, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars. And if you count the if, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 if. So n number conditions, how many if functions come? N minus 1 number of conditions would come over there. Why? Because one if will take care of last two or the first two conditions. Like in this case, we said if it's Subaru, then 7%. Otherwise, what? 8%. Now comes the crucial part of closing the brackets. Where do you close the bracket? Where do you close the bracket? Where? End of the function. How do you define end of the function? So this if is started, where should I close this if function? Last. Why last? It's a fixed rule, yeah?
Because the main function in which we are written.
So this is the main function, and in between you have written other functions. So typically when you're thinking about closing bracket, we move from inside out. Inside means this is the innermost function. So you think for this function, then you start evaluating. This is my logical test. This is my value of true, and this is my value of false. So all three arguments complete. So we'll close the bracket. Then I'll go back to the function outside it. Logical test, value of true, where is the value of false? If I click here, this shows us this is my value of false. So where do I close? Again at the end. So based on that, you will see in this particular situation, it's all getting closed at the end, but that might not be the rule everywhere. The rule is you have to finish the inner functions and then close the outer functions. And how do you decide inner function has to be closed? When the arguments are complete. Don't go by color matching. Color matching happens when you start closing, they will start showing you the color matching. So that has nothing to do that whether you've closed at the right place or the wrong place. What you're going to decide is whether your it na Tulika also wanted a provisional, so if you can ask Patrika where she keeps it and pull it out from there. Tomorrow. And once we press enter, and before we can copy paste, we'll have to fix a lot of things. and then copy paste. Right? So just to check, I'm going to copy these cars, paste it over here. So all are coming 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's working. Simple? Simple? Not simple. And it becomes more tedious when your number of conditions keep on increasing. So we have a way out. Situations you can have that way out, but most of the 80% of the cases we can replace this if function. All right, now you will go to your exercise workbook and go to the sheet of nested if. Rosie, is it clear? Mandar, Manali, Kavish, Badal, clear? Beba. All right, open your exercise workbook and this go to nested if. And do the first question. First, let's work on the first question where sales has been given, sales amount, and you have to find out, let's not find bonus, but still let's aim at bonus percentage only. Because bonus would be just percentage into the amount. That is the easy part. Let's get the bonus percentage. So based on the sales amount, find the bonus percentage. Is your name Sabyasachi and last name is T? Your name is Sabyasachi, right? Last name is Datta. There is some other Sabyasachi. One first question at least. Arijit, can you avoid using and? Can you all avoid using and? There is no purpose of and over here. So if you're putting and also along with this, you're making your program, your function even more bulky. No and. Only pure if. System is working. Madhvi, your system is working. How come you are marked absent? You're marked present only. Why did they send you an email? Because all your fours are present.
Yes.
Strange. Shayanti. Sure, right? Srinali. Yes. Come. Done? Where are you guys stuck? Without and is a problem or what? Completed but with and. Okay. Without and, yeah. Badal, you've done without and. Can I see your formula? You guys have to understand if something is not true or you're stuck. Good, Arijit. Finally, you figured it out. If something is not true, a false part is also implicated over there. So if I say B1 greater than 100 is false, what does it mean? If I say B1 is greater than 100 is false, it means B1 is less than 100. So you should use this thing. So if I started with if function, no, Gavish, you mixed and matched quite a bit. So whatever sign you want to decide, you go by that. Don't mix your signs. Don't put less than, greater than, and mix it up. So we can start that if this is less than or equal to 10,000, right? Then it is no bonus. Else, if and again B4 is less than equal to 20,000. Now what you guys are using AND for is to check whether it's greater than 10,000. Now you guys have to understand this is what? This is the false part. False means this is not true. If this is not true, it means it's already greater than 10,000. That's why it's false. So do I need to check if it's greater than 10,000 again? No. All I have to do is check whether it's less than 20,000 or not. If that is true, then 2%. Else, another if B4 less than equal to 30,000. If it is true, then 5%. Else, another if, and B4 less than equal to 50,000. And don't mix and match your signs in the middle. Stay consistent. If you're doing less than, completely it has to be done through less than only. If it is 7%, otherwise it is 10%. Excuse me.
There's nothing 30,000.
Oh, 50,000. No, so 10, 20. Oh, this has to be 50 and this is 1 lakh. Fine. F4. Dollar signs, right? F4. If your keyboard requires a function key to be pressed, then press that, otherwise F4. Let me know if you have any questions. Yeah, F4 is for dollar signs. Can you think about the logic of next question? This is done by all, right? Can you think about the logic of the next question? No and no max. No and I'm sneezing too much. What? Can you do the question? Output should be the whatever is the highest number should be the output. My God. Arijit, I hope you understood. Your last part was incorrect. I didn't go through the entire formula. You don't have to put greater than 1 lakh. It's automatically going to be the value false. Compare the three. Yes, you have to compare the three, but without using and max large. Only a function.
Less than sign.
Whatever sign you use, but it has to be only a function. Done? I'm not trying looking at the formula. Has to fall to somewhere. If we need the formula once again. It's not correct. Told you the formula is incorrect, so somewhere it has to get what? Okay, Adila and Vaibhav and Sachin. All you need to do is change the number of 820 to let's say 500 and see if your formula still gives you the right answer. Change the value of 820 to 500. Let me know if your formulas are still working. It's working. Why didn't you check yours?
I just corrected. I also made a mistake.
Flip on the 500. And yours is correct. Closing of the bracket is very, very important. Long thought process. Long thought process. Think about this question. In this question, think about like this. Let's say I make 3 people stand. and I say arrange yourself in height wise. So will you look only to one person and say, hey, I'm the tallest, or will you look both ways? Many of you are just comparing two things and declaring a winner. You guys are saying A18 is greater than A19, then A18 is the highest. Do you think that is correct? Without comparing 20. No, that's not correct, right? Badal still not correct. And we don't have to worry about dollar signs in this case because I'm not copy pasting the formula at all. If I have to think about the logic, so let's say if we are comparing three numbers, done. गलत तो नहीं होगा. If I walk that far, wouldn't be wrong, right? तो मैं गलत कर सकती हूँ. दो तीन के साथ वही हुआ था. स्टार्ट में सही फिक्स किया था, एंड गलत हो गया. चल जाएगा. क्योंकि वैसे आप रिडंडेंट चीज चेक करो और ठीक है. 19 is greater than 20 तो होगा ही नहीं वैल्यू फॉल्स में.
ये रोज अगर करना है first
I know, but the way you're comparing is wrong. So some fault I can find. एक second. Do one thing, press enter. Make 19 the highest number. Make it 400. 400 is enter. आ गया. हाँ जी, आपको भी करेक्ट है. सेम कर रहा है. आपका तो रॉन्ग प्रूफ करना बहुत ही आसान काम है. Eeshani behavior. Same problem that she has done. Incomplete afterward. If I just make this as 400, or any number, this doesn't work. Okay, let's see what is the logic. So if there are three numbers, let's say A, B, C, you guys are not comparing through and through. So if there are three numbers A, B, C, how are you comparing? First of all, you started with comparison of two. Is A greater than B? Two outputs possible, true or false. Okay, let's say it's true. Next, what do you do? You will compare B to C. Half of you have declared winners at this point, which is wrong. You have said A is the highest. A cannot be the highest. C has not been compared yet. So what you're saying is, I'll compare A with C. Right? Again, this is true or false. So if this is also true, then what? Highest is the A. And if this is false, then what is the highest? C. Because there are only two things, A or C. So if A is not the highest, C has to be the highest, right? Now we come to the false part of it. If it is false, it means that A is not greater than B. Then what should you compare? B and C. You guys will compare B with C. If B is the highest, which is the number B, otherwise it is C. Okay, where you went wrong, Madhvi and Sabyasachi, you forgot this component completely. You connected this false to this part. So as a result, when I made C as the highest, you didn't have any value to return. Okay, so wherever you see these triangles, these are not triangles, the diamond symbols, these are your if functions. And if function have your true and false. So there are three ifs. So this function should be done like this, equal to if this value is greater than this value, comma, then another if. What we are doing, we are comparing is 18 also greater than 920. If this is true, then A18 is the highest, else A20 is the highest. This is a value of 2 and this is complete, so it has to be closed. The bracket has to be closed, then put a comma. Then another if function comes. What is this thing? This is the false part. So in false part, what we said we compare B with C. So what is B? This one is B if this is greater than A20. If this is true, then A19, else A20 and close the bracket. Now in real life, when someone asks you to find the highest of the three numbers, please don't start using your if function. Use your max function only. Okay, this exercise, the only reason I make all the students go through this exercise is because you have to understand if can come in both the situations, not just false, false, false. Because the example that I do, the question that I give you, they are pretty identical. So just wanted to break that thing that it's not only in false, it can come in true also. But in reality, if someone is going to ask me largest of three numbers, I'll use a max function. I'm not going to use if function there. Clear? Yeah.
डेटाबेस फंक्शंस में और इसमें क्या डिफरेंस है?
डेटाबेस फंक्शंस एंड किसमें? if function में database functions are going to work on the sum. It helps you to give an output based on some summary. If function does not give output on any kind of summary.
Here so we have some criteria, like we have one table.
Yes.
Here we have criteria. Like
Yes.
This we have this. So it is like criteria.
Huh. So I'll give you an example. What is the difference between them? Let's say, for example, so Madhuri is asking what is the difference between database and if functions. Both have criteria involved, right? So if you remember when we were learning and all, we created columns of true or false, right? So right now, what if is doing? If is returning a value. But if you compare it to true and false, what happened wherever you had true? Let's say I'm going to give this is equal to odd. Just to create a column of true and false. So what database functions do is they see wherever the conditions are true and summarizes the whole table. Or if you think about it, it will filter first the table which matches the conditions and then applies a what do you call function on top of it. Max, min, whatever you want to do, right? That is what database does. In if function, we are not finding a summary of any table based on a condition. We are putting condition on each record and giving an output to it. We can use database, but how will you get, you will not get, for example, my aim was to get 0.02. How will you get this using database? Database does what? It does text the condition and it has a preset functions which it can apply. It doesn't return a value to you, right? The only function which returns a value is dget. But usme kya hoga? You can't copy paste them. If you compare this with dget, you can't copy paste. For each value that you have, you'll have to create a database, criteria cells, write dget, refer to the cell, and that's too much effort. But database functions, sumifs, these are summarization functions. Helps you to do summary based on a condition. And your ifs helps you to check condition and return something. But we are not doing summary. So sometimes it may happen that you're using if function and then using a database function for summarization, or if function and then using a sumif function for summarization. From multiple records. Like for example, if I say what is the average age of all the men in this class? So it's just not one person we are asking for. It's many people's data we're collecting. Summary is what we're doing is finding an average function on it. So that is summarization. Huh. And this is record wise. Checking we always do as record. Record is what? This is a record. Row wise. That's what if functions do. Right? Any other question? Any other questions from anyone?
How to use ampersand sign in Excel?
How to use ampersand sign in Excel? Ampersand sign in Excel is used for joining or concatenation. Concatenate. What does it mean? It helps you, for example, if I have a text ABC and I want to join it with the value of 1, 2, 3. So we use this, we use ampersand and we join the two texts together and create a new text. So it helps you to join the text together. So if you remember when we were doing our sum ifs and counters, that time I had introduced you ampersand that time. Yes, where we were saying, okay, we want the sales value which is greater than 20,000. So what we did in order to make greater than 20,000 look as one value, we did an ampersand between these two things. Remember or don't remember? So anything, what is the purpose of ampersand is to join components together. Join cells together, value of the cells together. Absolutely. Can you join any? Absolutely. So you are asking me, can I join a value of a cell and a formula? Yes, you can, because at the end of the day, formula is also returning a value to you, which may be text or it may be a number. And then you're just concatenating it with another value. Okay. Other questions? All good? Okay, we start with the next topic then. Today I'll give you the if function assignments. If no question, I'll start with the next topic. Badal, any questions? Arindam, Gaurav, Harishankar, Manali, Rituparna, all of you have logged in late. I've already marked half of you absent. Rosie, any questions? Okay, next topic is pivot table. So like we start all the topics, what is a pivot table? Any iPhone user? Yeah, you charge it by any chance? Forgot it on my bedside today. And 2 classes I had to take from my phone today. Remember to keep this one. All right. What is a pivot table? No idea what is pivot. Something is using in market right now. Very popular tool of Excel. Everybody is asking for it. Why people are asking for it though? No idea what pivot is. Is joint.
I heard the word quick sort, I think we use keyboard.
Filtering. Pivot is not filtering. Pivot is basically a tool of Excel which helps you to use to put the formula in table in one go. Okay, we will not be putting any formulas. Pivot is nothing but a simple tool of summarization. Not necessarily two or more tables. You can do that, but what is this essential work? Essential work is summarization. Okay, again, summarization has come back. This is one of the most famous tool for summarizing the data. What do you mean by summarizing the data? Or why do you need summarization? Any idea? Why do we summarize? So if people say, can you make this report? Can you create this summary? Which is something that is part and parcel of every job in corporates. We make reports. We make a lot of reports. So why do we create reports or why do we create summaries? Why do our managers want us to create summaries? to get the meaning out of the data. Because if I look at the raw data without any kind of processing on it, that data I might not be able to understand what it is trying to give me as insight or what it's trying to tell me. Simple example, if I ask you based on this data, let's say this is daily data. Every day something has been sold. I'll arrange it. This is a daily data now. If I ask you who are my top 3 customers, let's send them a gift. How will you give it? How will you decide who's my top 3 customer? Filter. So you will go to the sales part and do filter top 3. So my top 3 customers are solar, office and economists, correct? Correct. These are the top 3 sales of the top 3. So these are top 3 sales. These are not my top 3 customers. Because this customer has bought from me once or must have bought from me many times. Multiple times. It's not that one time the customer came and bought. Multiple times. So if I want to find out who is on the top, what I need is I want the customer list, right? In unique value of the customers. And I want their total sales. Now, if I find the customer list, let's say one customer is Google and I know they spend some X amount of money. This is the total sales. So I want for each customer, what is the total sales? Once I know the total sales of each customer, I can find out who's my top 3. Yes. So what I have to do, I have to summarize the data first. So any kind of input that you want or any kind of insight that you want from a raw data can only be done if you have done a summary on it. Once you create a summary is reporting only, and then only we can find insights into our data. So there are tables which are pivot friendly, like the one you see in front. There are tables which are not pivot friendly. So pivot friendly tables, what we do, we use pivots. And if the data is such that pivots cannot be supported, we use sum ifs and counters. Typically, those are the 2 things that we bank on in order to summarize the data. Okay. Now, working with pivots is super easy. Do you remember sorting in subtotals? Yeah. In that, if you remember, we also that time also we created summary, but in that summary, what was there? All details were there, and summary was there. In pivots, we don't keep any details; only the summarized data is shown to us. So, just to give you an idea of how quick or how easy it is, if I have to answer the question of top 3 customer, all I have to do is that's it. Did I use any formulas? Did I use dollar signs?
There is no repetition in the customer section.
No. So who are my top 3 customers? These are my top 3 customers. Okay. And if I had to get the same summary, just to give you a understanding of time and efficiency, just if I did not know pivot, the other way I would have done it is I'll teach you from starting how to do it. I'm just giving you an understanding of why they are such important thing for the industry. If I did not know pivot, how would I get that answer? I would first copy the customer column, paste it. I would have then done remove duplicate because I don't want duplicates to be there, right? Then I would have named my columns because I'm going to use my sum ifs and counters on them. Then I'll go back, say, okay, I'm looking for sales equal to sum if, range is customer. Who's the customer? Whole Foods. And what do I want to sum? Sales. And copy paste. And then I would have done the sorting. So what all should I know? I should know how to remove duplicates or get a unique value. I should know a sum if function. I should either know naming or I should know how to put a dollar sign. So the chances of mistakes that I'll make is super high. move, chances of mistakes are there. Versus in pivot, did you see any kind of complication? We have to just insert, drop, done. Anybody can pretty much run a pivot table. What's your question?
Customers have sent in.
Then in sorting, they'll be sitting next to each other, right? Like in top 10, what used to happen if there were two things with the same value? Both of them will be picked up. All right. So this was just to give you a view of how much time and effort is saved when you do pivot tables. Now, how do we create pivot tables? This is my raw data or the source of data from where we are going to create a pivot. Select any one cell. Don't try to select columns and don't try to select the tables. We are going to go to this place called insert over here. In insert extreme left, if you go, we have tables. In tables, then we have pivot table. So once you click on pivot table, the first thing it's going to ask is select the table or the range. Table or the range is what? Your data source. Your raw data is called the table or the range. So if you have selected one cell and clicked on it, you will see it picks your table automatically. And then comes the part where it's going to ask you where should it be placed. Okay. Now, where should it be placed? There are two options, new worksheet and existing worksheet. What is a new worksheet? If I click on new worksheet, in the same workbook, a new worksheet got created. And my pivot table is going to be over here. A lot of you are sleepy today, like super sleepy. You're making me sleepy now. Second thing that is there is existing sheet. Now, what is an existing sheet? What do you think it will put where? Existing sheet? In the same sheet where I have the table? Yes? So it will mean that I have a table over here and I can select any one cell and from here my pivot will start. So in the existing sheet, you have to select one cell. But existing sheet does not mean this sheet only. It can be any sheet of your workbook or any sheet of any other workbook. Okay. And why this information is important? Because few questions that is asked. Can I have the source of data in one sheet and pivot in another sheet? Yes. How? Using existing sheet, we can do that. Can I have the source of the data in one workbook and pivot in another workbook? Again, yes, using existing sheet. Okay. Can I make multiple pivot tables in one sheet? Again, yes, using existing sheet. So existing sheet helps us to work with all different kind of scenarios. I said don't be sleepy, so Pratik is there. He's got a whole mouth open. So that is your existing sheet, right? Another thing before we work with pivots, another option that it gives you is one is your table and the range. Then if you see at the bottom, there is something called external data source. External data source, this one, right? What does it mean? Can you work with the data which is not in Excel? So let's say the data is in Access. Gaurav says yes, that's correct. Let's say the data is in Access or any other software where you have structured data. Can we work with it in Excel? Yes, you can. Now, what is the process of working within Excel? You go to data, you go to get and transform data, and you get the data from that particular software. You link it, you bring the data in Excel, and then you start working with it. But again, it's a two-step thing that you have to first get the data in Excel and then we process it, right? Unlike this, in pivot table, we really don't need to bring the data in Excel. Pivot can connect with that data source automatically. How? Let's say if I click on insert table and I say yes, I want external data source which is not Excel based. Click on choose from connection. Then we click for browse for more and we go and pick the database. So if I go and select Let me go and select a text file. This is a text file, .csv file. Okay, it's not Excel file, it's a text file. So if you read, it's Microsoft Excel, comma, separated values, CSV files. And we click on open and we click on OK. Data source reference is not valid. What happened? Open. Okay, delimited. No. My data has headers. Yes. Next. Delimited by commas. Okay, I ate all these steps. Hence. And finish. And okay. Type of connection selected cannot be used to create a pivot table. How come? Something is odd. Something I'm doing not doing correct because CSV files are allowed. Let me try once more. Because if you see in the data source, text files are there, CSV files are text files. I don't know why it's not connecting. I'm missing some part of it. But anyways, I'll show you how to do access since that I've done a lot of times. Let's pick up an access database. So it will in access it will ask you tables because there may be multiple tables in one database. We click on OK. You click on OK, and you see the table got connected. Okay. So a lot of time people will ask you the same question that do you really need to get the data in Excel and then use pivot? Answer is no. A lot of structured data, and you can go to the browse for more and look at what kind of database I can connect directly into a pivot table. Fine. All right, once these two things are out of the way, we are going to start making our pivots now. Now, before you guys make pivots, I would want you to go through the type of tables that you can actually create in Excel. What are the different type of tables we create in Excel? In Excel, in Word, by hand, on a piece of paper, those are fixed type of tables that we have been working with. What are those? I can create a table which looks like this. Let's say the headers are here, A, B, C, D, right? Data flows top to bottom. This is a vertical table. Other can be something which looks like this. And the headers are kept over here, A, B, C. Values are left to right, and this is a horizontal table. Right? Other set is in which I may have headers over here, I may have headers over here, and the values are in the middle. This is a matrix. Fine. Then I may have table which looks like this, in which I may have a north region, east region, west region, and for each region I have city 1, city 2, city 1, city 2, something like this. And the values are kept over here. Right? This is kind of a group table. Grouping may be done like this, or grouping may be in the column wise. Like sometimes, we have this thing, a table which looks like this. For example, this is what do you call year, let's say YTD, year till date, and this is 2016, 2017, 2018, something like that. So in column also we may have grouping. In row wise we have grouping, in column wise we have grouping. But these are the typical type of tables that we work with. So since this is what we create on the sheets, this is what we create in Excel, this is what we create in Word, this is what our aim is to create in pivots also. We will either come up with a vertical table or horizontal or matrix or a group table. Yeah. You guys need a break now because your head is going to fall on your desk anytime. You're that bad today. Not one or two, many of you. I don't know about online guys. How are you feeling today? Sleepy or fine? Because the guys in front of me are going to fall on their desk anytime. And they are yawning right in front of my face. So that is making me super sleepy. Break. Let's take a early break today. Typically, I don't give break at this time, but you guys need it. Walk. If you want a cup of tea, ask the guy in front. Ask for a cup of tea or a coffee and be awake when I come back. All right? Take a 10 minutes quick break. You like
This conference will now be recorded.
Ma'am, the access class today is happening.
I don't know. What time was it supposed to be?
One of my friends was asking.
2 o'clock is definitely नहीं है क्योंकि सामने कुछ भी नहीं हो रहा. I think Pratik got called in some emergency, so he's not there. So she was not informed. How come?
I don't know, ma'am. She joined the classroom and she's saying that I'm not getting any link.
So WhatsApp वगैरह कुछ में added नहीं है वो अपने आप को. उसको बोलो पहले WhatsApp में जाएगी, Google Classroom में सब में add करेगी. All right, sorry. Coming back. So all are refreshed, I hope. All right. So let's see how we're going to create these tables now. Fine. So first step is going to be select one cell of your table, insert tables. Then you choose what is your source, Excel or some other source. Choose where you want the table to be in a new worksheet or an existing worksheet. Click OK, and you will get something like this. Okay. Now, few things that you should know. First of all, this panel is very, very important for us to work in the pivot table. What does it do? It shows up all the fields. What is field? Going back in my main table, these headers that you see on the top, date, region, sales rep, customer, product, price, these are called the fields. Underneath the field, the values that you see, like 2, 3, 2009, and so on and so forth, these are called items of the field. So on the top are the fields, and these things at the bottom are called items of the fields. Kindle, what are you working on? You are working on something. Look here, okay? So when you look over here in this thing, what you see the fields. And how do we work with pivots? We pick one of the fields and we drop it in this area. Now this area has 4 parts. What are the 4 parts? One is the row field, one is a column field, one is value field, and one is filter field. Row field, column field, value field, and filter field. And what we have to do, we have to pick one of the fields of our pivot and drop it over here. Now the question is, which field should we drop where? So going back to this drawing that I did, if you think about this tables that we were talking about, we can actually divide our tables into two main regions. What are the two main regions? One is headers. Headers. This is what headers. This is what headers. Headers by which you're reading the reports. For example, over here, this becomes my header. If I don't have this, I don't know what I'm reading. The date, region, sales rep, so these are my headers. Similarly, in your summary also you'll have headers. It's a report only, it's going to be a table format. Second thing, what you will see is what you see is the summarized values. What are the summarized value? This area is the summarized value. In this table, this is my summarized value. In this table, this is the place of summarization. In this table, this is the place of summarization. So typically, any table that you pick, you can divide into table headers and values. Headers and values, right? Now, when you look at this pivot table format that you've been given, what do you put where? The field which you are going to create a header, so I'll pick the right same colors. The field with which you are going to create headers will go either in the row field or it will go in the column field. The headers will go in the row or a column. And the summarized value is what goes over here in the value field. Right? Now, how do we create a table over here? For example, I pick a field and drop it in the row. I pick a field and drop it in the value. So what you do, pick and drop, that's it. What type of table did I create? Horizontal table. Which type of table? Horizontal, vertical, matrix, group table. It's a horizontal table. That is okay, Mandar. Do not work with me right now. If you did not get that, that's fine. I'll explain you how to get it. But let's just get the basic concepts clear first. So if I drop something in the row only, then I get a horizontal table. Now instead of row, if I would have put something in the column, which type of table is this? Let's say I've put two things over here. Which table have I created? I've created a vertical table. Okay. How I have created a vertical table? 1 second. So if my headers are over here, I'm getting two values. So this is what? This is vertical table. Right? If I pick one for row, and if I pick one for column, and if I drop a value over here, now which type of table did I create? Matrix. This is a matrix where you have a header over here, and the values in the middle. Right? Now, if I created a table like this in which I removed the customer from here, then I put customers also next to the region. Now, what did I create? A group table. So just playing around this area of your pivots, only you can get different type of tables that you desired. Plus, please understand, these are the main types. So first, what is the step number 1 of pivot table? Visualization of this. What type of table do I want? Once you understand what is the table I want, you visualize what are the headers, what are the summarized value, then working with pivots will take you less than 5 seconds to finish your work. But if your visualization is not in place, if you don't know what really you want, then you can sit with it the whole day and finish. Keep on doing it, right? So please visualize, please understand how do we create the basic tables, and then only we'll go about it. Any questions till now? Easy? All right. Now, I'll ask you a question, you give me an answer, like we always do. We said we are going to drop a field which will make headers in column or row. What will you drop in value field? Which type of field should we drop? Only numerical? According to the
Sales. If it is a sales, I will put sales.
very good. Something that you want to summarize. So if somebody is saying create a sales summary, so it's going to be the field which we want to summarize or calculate the values on. Absolutely correct. Whatever field you want to summarize gets dropped over here. Now there's a big misunderstanding that only the field which has numbers get dropped over here. And why this misunderstanding is there? Because we are saying summarization. Summarization means some kind of mathematical calculation. On text, what can we do? Which mathematical function can you use on text? Count, right? So it's not that you can only pick and drop numbers. You can drop a field which is text also. But as soon as you drop a field which is numbers, it does by default a sum. Look over here, sum of sales. By default function does this sum of sales. And if I drop a field which has text in it in this area, by default it does a count. So it's not that you can't drop. You can drop. By default it'll do only a count function on it. And if you drop a number, by default it does only a sum function on it. In text there is no other function which you can change it to. But after sum you can make it an average or a max or a min. Okay. Now let's say, yes, we can. I'll talk about that. Let's say we want region-wise sales. Region-wise sales. How do I create it? Who wants to help? Region-wise sales. In row field, I want to drop the region and value in the this. This is my region-wise total sales. This is horizontal. Why it is horizontal? I'll tell you. I tell you. Don't look at the number is like this. The headers are in one column. Anytime the headers are in column, it becomes horizontal. Because you will be reading what is 227386, the value of northeast. So you're reading it horizontally. If the header was northeast on the top, then we'll say we are reading vertically. You can create this table vertical, but it looks horrible. There you go. Month in row. Not like nobody wants to report like this. So I'll talk about grand total and everything. Hold on. So this is clear. Till this part is clear. Now what is this grand total? Is the sum of all these things. That is what the grand total is all about. Sum of it is called the grand total. It comes by default. Now what we have the sum of each region. I also want the average of the region, right? Now you ask me, can I change the sum to some other functions? Yes, we can. How? We right click and you see over here, summarize value by. It will give you an option of sum, count, average, max, min. You pick what you want. Let's say we want average. So we click on average, we get the value. But now what happened? I lost my sum. Now if boss wanted both, then I have to do what? How do I create that other column? I had this, how do I create another column? You can't copy paste pivots. Like a part of the pivot you can't disturb. Pivots don't allow you to delete. Pivots don't allow you to work with one components and attach to it and things like that. You can't meddle with the work of pivot. So how will you create another column? Another sales column from pivot table? Very good. We already have total. We also want average. So they was with us saying, let's pick another field of sales. We pick sales and we drop it. So we've got two sales now. So don't be afraid of using one field multiple times in your table. And what I've done, Pratik doesn't like it because he's making faces. You don't like it. What you don't like about it? I'll change it. Because pivots is all about presentations. So presentation has to be done in such a way that it's easy on eyes, easy to understand, and impressive. This is not impressive. Now you're saying yes. First you were okay with it. Like I said, do you have a problem? You said, no, it's fine. Perfect, beautiful summary you've created. Now that I've told you there is a problem, you're saying yes. So what I did, I put sales. So you can use one field multiple times in the pivot, right? But when you drop once, it becomes sum of sales. When I dropped the second time, it became sum of sales 2. If I drop it third time, it will become sum of sales 3. Now the challenge is, number one, that I have to make one as average. So I can easily do it, summarize value, average. So I've got sum of sales, I've got average of sales. Now still it's not pretty. How do I make it pretty? Tell me what you don't like, I'll make it better. It should be in the column, right? Like I said, always try to visualize the output. We will never visualize this type of table. Never. That's not us. So we would have said, okay, there's a region, there's total sales, there's average sales. Yes, but it didn't happen that way. So how do we make it happen? We need this, every time I close this panel, and every time I want to work on the pivot, I need to open the panel again. How do we make it happen? Right click, show field list. Okay, this thing is coming. I'm just going to show you a different view. So whatever you have in this side of row, column, value, filter is in this 4 boxes, right? Now what happens when you put more than one value or one field in values, like I put sales twice. So in values, you see sales twice. Whenever you put more than one field in value, this summation value gets created. I'll just show it to you. If I remove this, summation value gone. It's only there when you have multiple fields in the value part. And if I put it back now, where is sales? I'll put it one more time, and now you see it will be back. Okay, so the summation value gets created only when you put more than one field over here. Now where is it sitting? In the rows, and hence your values are coming as sum of sales, sum of sales 2 in row. Where do you want it? Column. So all you have to do is push this to column. As soon as you do that, it becomes into columns. So this is my sum of sales, and this I'll make it average. What else you don't like about it? All pretty now. Don't compromise. All good. That's how we would love to send to our managers, right? And get promotions. Nothing is bad in it. Arishankar, something. Please find something which is bad. Can we change sales to sales? Can we change the names? Yes, we can. How? We can click on it and type in. Imagine you're sending a report, average sales 2, sum of sales 1, sum of sales 3. How's that? Look nice in report? No. So obviously headers had to be changed. What else? One more thing that you can make it look better. The decimal places. We didn't do an average sales of 4,000 to 10.851852. That has to be improved. How do you do it? Right click, your number format. Don't go for format cell. If you use format cell, only one cell gets formatted. If you click on number format, the whole column gets affected. And in number format, we can click on number and decide how many decimals we want. Right? Click OK and done. Much better. This part is clear. Now I got the total sales, I've got the average sales. I want to find out how many sales happened in each region. How many sales happened in each region? How do I find that out? Same report. Count what? Sales. I can count sales. So one thing is I can drop sales, then convert it into a count, or what I can do, I can pick a field which is text and drop it. As soon as I pick a field which is text and I drop it, it can count. Because when I say count, whether you count the region or you count the sales rep with respect to the region, your answers would be absolutely the same. Now what we are doing, we are counting the Customers. No audio because I have a crisis over here. Hold on. So, enough. All right. So again, what we can do, we can make it as number of sales. We can change the text. Whether you count a sales column or a customer column or any column for that matters, answer would be the same. Should not differ at all, provided the database is complete. If they are missing values, then it's a separate issue. Clear? Just till this part all clear? Guys are online. Arindam, Vidyut, Sachin, Rituparna, clear? Okay. Let's do something else. Let's say I wanted to find out, and anytime you want to get rid of something, if you want to remove it, I said you just simply uncheck over here. It'll remove it. Any volunteer for the next question? Pratik, the brave warrior. Okay. I want region-wise, product-wise sales report. Region-wise, product-wise sales report. How do I create it? Pratik has to say. He volunteered. Yes, sir. First, tell me what type of table are you going to make me create? You'll make me create a matrix. All right. So what should I drop where? Row, you want to put the product. All right. So if in case you guys don't want to drag and drop, you can also right click and choose where you want to drop it. And what else? You want to put in column. Okay. Then region, you want to put the rows. Okay. Row, you want to put the region, and sales in the value part. This is a matrix we created. Everybody is happy? Jyotirath happy? Don't look happy though. Yeah? Good report? Not such interesting report. What happened? This has become too long for us. So we are doing left, right, back again, left, right, back again. Too much. So what ideally, what is this matrix about? This is matrix is basically 2 by 2 matrix that we talk about, where rows and columns are there, right? And this is region wise, product wise sales report. Now why this is not very good? The reason is we can do group also, but this is also not bad. Only thing you have to be careful is, yes, Mandar, that's correct. You should be flipped. Why flip? Because the number of regions are less. So if you think about Excel as a tool, the number of columns are more or the number of rows are more? Rows are more in Excel or columns are more in Excel? Rows are more in Excel. So anything which has more items to it has to be in your row label. And anything which is less should be in your column label. So all I am going to do is I'm going to go over here and just change the row and the column. So you started correct, and I don't know why you changed in between. This is much better way of looking at it. See, easier. Now what are given over here? When you create a matrix, there are couple of things which come free of cost. That is this row at the bottom. What are these numbers called? These numbers are called column total. Okay. Kinjan, what are you working on?
Nothing, just
Practicing.
no, I just comparing.
You can compare. How will you compare without looking at my work? Comparing against what?
The question that is in the
हाँ, तो अपना एक लैपटॉप दिखाओ मुझे और उसको ज्योति रथ के बगल में रख के आ जाओ, क्योंकि आपको मैं 2 बार ही बोल चुकी, आप सुन नहीं लो मेरी बात. अच्छा, गुड जॉब. ज्योति रथ को मेरा लैपटॉप नहीं मिला, सॉरी. But you know, when you don't listen and you're working, try to go ahead, you will falter. So what are these numbers called? These are called column totals. Why they are called column totals? Because they are the sum of these columns. Okay. Similarly, these numbers are there which are called row totals, because again they are the sum of these rows. And this guy is your grand total over here, which is the sum of all. Why this terminology is important? Because when we are going to do calculation, these words will be back. So you should know what is a row total, you should know what is a grand total, you should know what is a column total. Okay. Now, Gavish, you wanted to make a group table. How would you want me to create a group table? So I'll remove everything, guide me to make a group table. What should I drop where? Sachin is taking the lead. Okay. So you are saying region in the row. What else? Product in the row. Okay. Now then when you say product in the row, I have 2 choices. My 2 choices are I can put product before the region or I can put it after the region. Which one do you want me to do? Before? Gaurav says after, Madhuri says before. Everybody else is saying after. I will put before. I'll go with the female support. Before. Okay. What about, and Rosie also before. Okay. Doing the right support. And what about values? What do you drop here? Sales. All right. When you look at this, which report is this? Group report. Very good. So if you're presenting to your boss, you will say this report has what? You can't say this is a group report. Boss will need a statement, right? What report did we create? Is this region-wise product or product-wise region? This is a product-wise region sales report. Now, pivot is one tool in Excel which does not give you any errors, which is bad. Why it is bad? Because you don't know what you did is correct or not. It looks pretty, it looks presentable, we'll send it across. But if the question was region-wise product sales report, the question that my boss can ask me is, what is the total of Northeast? If I have to answer that question, is it quickly I can answer or do I need to calculate again? I need to calculate again. And summary does not mean another summary has to be created to read it. Right? So that is wrong. Why it is wrong? Because to get the answer for my summary, I need another summary. So what we should have done, what people were saying, we should have listened and we should have dropped the product after the region. Now, if I did something like this, this is region-wise product sales report. So if someone is asking, Davish is like after, I told you so. So if someone is asking what is the total of region, it's a very quick thing you can do. We can right click and we can collapse the entire field. So I get all the regions. So I can give region report. Now let's say in particular region in Southeast, we got less states. We want to inspect. So we can open this up and look at the report of each product. So you got to be very careful. I have this rule I've created for myself. It's 5-second rule for myself. If I've created a summary, I have to ask a question back to my summary. And if I don't get my answers within 5 seconds, it's a bad summary. It can be improved upon. Like in this question, we said it's a regional report. So region has to be the primary thing. So if you ask what is the total of a region and if you don't get that answer, it means not a good report. Right? Now, when you create a group report like the one we've created, we can expand and collapse. This I think you guys can understand easily. But what we get, just like how you had grand totals and row totals and column totals, over here we have subtotals. These all terminologies are very important, because when you're going to do calculations, you have to know what is a subtotal and what is a grand total. So over here, what happens, whatever it's grouping by, it will show a total over here, and this is called a subtotal. If you want to get rid of it, right click, you see subtotal region, click on it, it goes away. And at the bottom, you will get the grand total. Clear? Right? Now you're ready for your first 3 questions. Before you do that, Kinjal is most excited today. Before you do that, Mandar had a question that he had asked, and let me explain that to you. So when you guys are going to start working with your pivot table exercise, and I think Mandar also started while I was teaching, that's why he had this question. When you insert and you create a pivot, you might also end up in something like this. Okay, and this is a format of pivot where you can't drag and drop. So if I pick amount and drop, see, it says no dropping. So I can't drag and drop. So what do? You have 2 things that you can do. Either you can drag and drop in this area, that it will allow. So if I put amount or branch somewhere, it will allow me that. But in this part, I can't. Otherwise, you right click and drop, that also it will allow. But if I really want to see that interface, because that's how I'm teaching you the visualization, then you will right click on options. Within options, when this table, window opens up, display, and under display, we click on classic pivot table. So options, and options we have display, not display. Options I have, display and then classic pivot table. And once you click OK, you will get it back. All right. Let's try to work on the first 3 questions. Only first 3 questions. I've not taught you beyond that. Only 3 questions. Three questions, three pivots. No, don't combine them into one. Three different pivot tables. Then when you're done, let me know. I will see the sheet. Mandar is done. Sachin is done. Okay. Okay, Sachin, let's see your screen then. Anybody else who's done over here? No, I want all three done. Okay. Sachin, share your screen. I'm sending you the invite. First, second, third. Good. Mandar, let's see your screen. First, second, third. All right. It's just your dates are a little messed up. Dates change their format. Who else? First, second, third. Okay. Hanji. What is this? Second. No. First one. First is correct. Second is not correct. First is not correct, Madhu. No. First, second, third. Okay. First is not correct. Second is fine. Third is correct. First is not correct. First not correct. Second is fine. Third. Simple thing that I'm asking you again and again, put the question back on your summary. The question is, what is the daily total deposit amount for each branch? Okay. If I ask you guys daily deposit, so it means it's a particular day. So if I ask you 6th of September, what is the deposit in knots? Can you answer that? 6th of September, can you answer? So it's a summary is wrong. What you have summarized is by weekdays. A Monday is not just one Monday, a lot of Mondays combined into it. So daily deposit. So is she done? Second, not understanding the second one. Which day of the week have the most deposit? On which day of the week? Day of the weeks are what? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. When is the maximum deposit? First, okay, second, third. Okay. Count. आपका count भी होना है ना? Third वाले में. First is wrong. 6 September को कितना deposit है नॉर्थ में? Answer क्या है? पता नहीं. तो गलत है. First, second, third. इसमें hidden क्या है ना? Go back to second. ये क्या डाला हुआ है? बीच में क्या डाला हुआ है? Dates क्यों डाले हुए हैं? Dates you don't have to put. Please remember, if you put too many things in your summary which is unwanted, it's a bad summary. Too few things is also bad, many is also bad. So put only the things which are bare minimum required. Who else would like to share the screen online? Badal, you're done? Arijit is done. Gavish is done. Badal, share your screen. Rosie done. All right. Question number 1 is not correct. Question number 2. 2 is fine. Number 3. 3 is also fine. 1 is not correct. Gavish, let's look at your screen. Badal, remember I asked you in the first question, if I put a daily deposit, I want on a daily basis, what is the total deposit? First, not correct. Second, not. This is first, right? Okay, to make it a little more presentable, because this is too much, why don't you shift the branch to column? Shift the branches to column. Gavish, shift the branch to column. No, not from here, from the boxes that you see. Okay. Or the boxes that you see at the bottom, move the branch to column. Select it and shift it to column. No, just drag it into column, or you can do like this also. Either way. In the column over here, on the right side where you have the boxes. Right side. It's gone. Right click on the right. Drag it. Select and drag to the diagonally up. No, you can't drop in the empty area. That's empty area. No. Okay, do a right click on the branch. Right click on the branch. You've done it on the right click. Not this way, or where the field list is. Right click there and move to add to column label. Click on add to column label. Okay, now this is much more easier to understand before what you had. Click on second question. No, this is not correct. I don't need dates. Remove the dates. Get rid of the dates. This is the correct answer. Question number 3. No. Where are the count types? Each account. What is the number of count in each branch? Change it. Okay, I'm going to do it on my screen. All of you are going to look at my screen and verify your answers. Okay. Question number 1 was, everybody who has finished, please verify your answers. So it was daily dates. So you need a date in the row. I need a branch in the column, and I would put amount in the values. This is how your question number 1 should look like. It's looking like this? Yes? Okay. Shashi? Yes or no? I don't have to show me. You have to tell it's looking like this or not. Not so much. Little different. Show me now. What did you do to make it look different? Acha ji. Why is it diagonal designs coming up? So do I need a weekday? Do I have a weekday anywhere? No. So no weekdays required. Remove that. Number 1. Put branch. When you look at my table, at least you can understand what I've dropped where. Branch in the column and dates in the row. We nested the dates in the branches, but this is better. Exactly. When you nest, you have to understand, when you nest the dates in the branches, you are making 30 into 4. 120 rows of data when it can be actually simplified into 30 rows of data. So why complicate it? So just play around till it becomes a little easier, a little shorter, smaller, easier to read. Okay, question number 2. Which day of the week has the maximum deposit? I'm going to insert pivot table. Going to create on an existing sheet. I'll go back to sheet 1, create it over here at the bottom. Okay, so I need weekdays and I need the amount, right? Now when you got the weekdays and amount, it should look like this. Now to get the highest, don't ballpark with your eyes, because right now number of days are 6 over here. But what if you had to do it in 10,000 rows of data, that you have to find what is the highest value? What you need to do is sort. So you right click and you do a sorting, largest to smallest, so that you get the highest on the top. Okay, don't ballpark with eyes. Just because it's a smaller data set, you are able to do that. Everybody has the same answer. This pretty much everyone did it correctly, barring few. Again, right click, change the function, summarize value by max. Okay. On the values. Okay. Next question was, how many account types broken down in different branches, right? So what do I need? I need my branch. I need my account type. So there are two fields. Anytime there are two fields, you can go with either of the table. You can either go with matrix or you can go with the group table, right? I'll go with the matrix. So I want account type in branch. So I will put account type in row and I'll put branch in column, because I said I'll make a matrix, and I want to do a count. So either you could have dropped amount, changed into count, or put any field like account type in the value. I'll get the count. So your answer should look like this. If you've done a group table, that's also fine. Otherwise, this is how it's going to look like. Done? All good? Move on. Devasmita, what was the strike rate? Out of 3, how many were correct? Arindam, Rosie, how many did you guys get correct? Manali, Harishankar, Rituparna, 2 correct. Okay, Rituparna, only second. 2, 2, 2, 2. I think most of you did mistake in number 1. All right, good. Not bad. Let's move on. Okay, I'm going back to my data set. Again, what I have is date, region, sales rep, customer, product, price, unit, cost of goods sold, and blah, blah, blah. Okay. Another kind of summary that we typically like to do is based on dates. Like bosses will ask, what is the year wise? Second and third, I found only the total. Second and third, I found only the total. Okay. So total was not required in the third one though. Count was required. I hope you rectified it, right? Okay, let's move on. So let's say, like I said, typically what bosses are going to ask you, it might be asking yearly sales summary, monthly sales summary, quarterly sales summary. Very common. We always try to look at the revenues based on the time. This year, last year, what did we do, and things like that. So if I ask you in my data set, I want year-wise sales summary, how will it happen? Year-wise sales summary. We have a column called year. You have dates in which year is kept. So how will you make a year-wise sales summary?
You have to first make a column of the date and enter a filter for date of the business.
And once you filter, then what will you do? Filtering is a favorite tool. Okay, you filter, then what will you do? Sachin, the question is, I want year-wise sales summary. You filter for 1 year, then what will you do? Then summarize it.
The value of the sales will be there in the field.
And then what will you do? Let's say what you're asking me to do, think about it logically. You're asking me to filter. Let's say I did.
Not here.
Then.
After making it.
And how do I summarize by year then? It will still be daily sales. How is it summarized? You want a total of, let's say, 2009. You can't have 100 values of 2009. Tell boss, summarize it. You have given you the data, summarize it fast, right? So how will you do it? Now the best thing in pivot table is that there is an option in pivot table which is called grouping. Group. What can you group? I can group dates. I can group numbers. Something that has a logic behind it. Text do not have logics. You can say, okay, group north and west, but there's no logic why north and west has to be grouped, right? But dates can be grouped logically in terms of years, in terms of months, in terms of quarters. Numbers can be grouped. Simple example, when we take a survey or if you fill up an application form, they don't, they especially surveys, they ask you in which age group you are. You are in 20 to 25, 26 to 30. They don't say what is your age. They try to pick it as a group, right? So we can either group numbers or we can group dates. In this case, we want what? I want a column of date. So I drop it. It comes as daily rates. And I wanted sales amount. But now I want what? I want to look at my dates in form of a year. So how do you do it? Right click. And you see this word group coming up. Click on group. This grouping is what? This is time wise. Can you see it? Little bit. Should I increase the screen? Yeah. All right. 1 second. Better? Now it's visible to you guys. So what happens when you have dates? You get starting at, ending at. Starting at and ending at, typically computer picks itself, newest and the oldest date. If you want to change it, then you can type in over here, right? Then it says you want to group by what? So I want to group by years. So I can select years. I click OK, and very nicely I get year wise. I don't have to compute another column. I don't have to create a function. I don't have to filter nothing. It does it grouping on its own. Okay. Now, since there are multiple years, I might also be asked to do a month wise, year wise. So if I want to do a month also and year also, again we can right click, go back to group, and this time pick two. So you can pick more than one. I can do year wise, quarter wise, month wise also. I'm just doing two, month and year, click OK, done. So very easy, and without any much understanding of the date functions, we are able to do this work. Okay. Now I've been telling you this why we are creating summaries. We create summaries because we need some insight into our data. Why would I ask you to create a summary like this? Why should we create a summary like this? What all information can I get from this kind of summary? Monthly fluctuations. Okay, in a particular year, how did we perform month-wise? What else? Percentage we are not finding as of yet. But yes, you could. But over here, may or may not. Let's see. Trend, that's the same thing, right? Monthly trend you're looking at. What else would you like to see when I have multiple years and monthly seasonality? Exactly. Again, seasonality you can see. But how can I check seasonality over multiple years? In this table, can I? Can I compare? A lot of companies, not a lot of companies, every company, I should say, does this thing that we always try to do last year, this month, how much did we do? Because I can't just simply compare last month all the time. Seasonality is there. So if I have to compare last year, this month, how much did I do? Can I compare it using this report? Not possible. Why not, Sabyasachi? Because the layout, it's all kept in one column. If I had to do it, I would have visualized that, okay, I have the years over here and I have months over here. Yes, the year should have been in columns. Then I could have done it. Now, can I do it easily? Yes, I can do that also very easily. What pivot tables helps us in is whenever we What did I press? Okay. So what pivot table does when we are trying to, when we group by more than one particular item, like what we did, we group by year and date, month. So it splits the field into two fields. We have only one field called date, but now you see there are two fields. So that gives us an added advantage. How? We can push one to the column. As soon as I push one to the column, this is the output we get. Now this is interesting. Why this is interesting? I can do many things on it. I can do the yearly comparison, trend. I can do year-on-year comparison. I can do month-on-month comparison of different years. So your layouting of your report also is very important when we're trying to do analysis. Just don't like create a dump, it doesn't really matter. Okay, this is clear? For everyone, this is clear. Audio is not clear. Okay. Something is not clear. What about others? Is the audio clear? Are you able to hear me properly? Yes, no? It is clear? Okay. Okay, now that you know what grouping is, and I told you can group dates and you can group numbers. Now you have to help me to create this summary. Who wants to volunteer before looking at the question? No, not one all the time. Online guys can also volunteer. You're also part of this batch. 5 extra points for volunteering. No takers. Only Sachin. All right, Sachin. This is a question. So I want you to create a table like this. Sales range, number of sales. Typically using retail stores, where we like to analyze that, okay, what is the typical bill amount? And once we know what is the typical bill amount, what do we do? What do we do? These are business questions. I found, okay, most of the people are buying between 2 to 4,000 in my shop. So what do I do next?
Increase those, supply those things which are falling in these.
No, this may be not because of one item. It may be a combination of items. This is a combined bill size, ticket size. What do you do?
The bill falls between these and adding put some sales or something.
Put a promotion to extend this spending. Excellent. You push the people to spend more. Typically, this much is what people are spending in your shop. Now you put on promotions, you think about campaign, you think about marketing ideas that you push them to the next level. That's why they do this all this thing, right? Spend 4,000 and get 10% off, because typically people are not spending 4,000. They're pushing customer to do that thing. So all these promotions that you see that you guys are victim of typically comes from all these things, like buy 3 get 1 free. That is done through basket size. How much is the basket size? How much average number of items a person is picking? All these things. So let's say I want to create a report like this. I've visualized it for you. Sachin, how will you create it? What should I put where? What should I put where? Using pivots. Yes, using pivots. I'll remove all the other things. Using pivots, how do I do it? What should I drop where? Anybody who wants to help, Sachin? Okay, drop value should be sales. Drop value should be sales. Okay. And then you do a count. Okay, I'll do a count on it. Then I'll show you the visual again. What are the headers made of? Which one is a header, by the way? Which one is a header? Sales range is a header. Very good, Sachin. Sales again will go in the row. It went in the row. It is typical individual sales record. What do we do? Now we have to group it. So right click, group. Now this grouping is going to look different because these are not dates, they are numbers. So numbers are grouped differently. In numbers, how do you group? Like I gave you an example of age, 20 to 25, 26 to 30. So there is a fixed slab on which you create. Nobody is going to create 9 to 12, 13 to 20. Not absurd things, right? So starting and ending have to be defined. Our starting was 1, our ending was 6,000, and group by is 2,000 because our group size or the bin size is 2,000. So we are saying from 1 to 6,000 is our sales range. Group them into slabs or bins of 2,000 each. Okay, once this is done, easy. Good, Sachin. Right? Any questions on this? Good. Jyotirath, you look so knocked off today, right? All good? You didn't understand something. You're not comfortable. You're not. What happened? Why did I put 6,000? Okay, because at the end, what is my range? Greater than 6,000. So my last point is 6,000. That's why I put ending is 6,000. What did I start with? 1. So I said from 1 to 6,000. And if you look at 1, 2,000, 2 to 4,000, 4 to 6. So I'm dividing it by 2,000. That's why I did that.
Suppose if all the slabs are not of equal, like 1 to 1,000, 2,000, 1,000 to 3,000. So
Very good. Very good question. This is a question I want to expect at this point. What if the slabs are not equal? Then what? Pivots can't do it. Pivot likes only uniform slabs because there is no provision of putting other slabs. But if I want to do it, then how? What if the slabs are unequal? Then how will you do it? What did you say? If, not if. How if? If does not summarize. You're still not over the fact of what if can do. If does not summarize. This is summarization, still a summarization. If checks. If can tell you, yes, this lies between this range.
Individually, if the item can do the formula.
And then summarize. How? What if they're unequal slabs? How will you work? I've taught you already. Now it's going to session 1. What did we do? Session 2, what did we do? Which function? Not smaller slabs. Count. Count with what? Yes. Combine both the answers. Count from Monica and if from Madhvi. Count it. Use count if. Count ifs. This will be a count if function. So I've been telling you again and again, anytime summarization is there, either we use pivot or we use count if sum ifs. If pivot fails, we straight away go to count ifs and sum ifs. It's a no-brainer. You want me to do the entire question, huh? Yeah. Yeah. So for example, let's say 1 to 2,000 is one range. And let's say 2001 to 5,000. So this unequal ranges 5,001 to 10,000. Right? So our range is over here. Sales. Let me name it. It's already named sales. Good. So we can come over here, count ifs. Criteria range is what? Sales. What is the criteria? Greater than equal to ampersand, this one, comma, again the range is sales and it is less than equal to ampersand to 2,000. That's it. Copy paste. So unequal ranges you're dealing with. Clear? Clear to all? Yeah. All right, let's do this question. Do the question number. I'll repeat, Manali. What I did, I used a function called counter sum if. That was in session 1 or 2. I don't remember. I know that for sure you didn't attend that. So, have you gone through the video of counters and sum if? You attended that session? Okay. So it's just a simple function of counters in which you're giving the range and the criteria. So what I did, I just put the lower and upper bound in 2 different columns so that I can copy paste the formulas. Okay. All right. So which question we will do? 1, 2, 3, done. Now we will do question number 8th and 9th. 8th and 9th. Question number 8 and 9. Question number 8 and 9. Mandar done. Okay, let's see your screen. Vaibhav done. Let me see Vaibhav's screen then. Arijit, okay. Next is yours, Arijit. All right. Next, the other question. No, this is not correct. This is not week wise. Week has Monday to Friday all the days. It does not even only have Monday. So if you have done weekday and a summary, that's wrong.
Weekly deposit is like 1 week or week two, something like that.
It has to be like, yes,
7 days gap.
7 days.
This one and
This looks fine. Arijit, let's look at your screen. If you summarize the weekdays, means you've done a total of Monday, Tuesday, but a week has all 7 days. You can't summarize by one weekday. All right. What was my question? I forgot my question. Hold on, let me look at my question also. The question was how many accounts in each account type? I think you did not do as per the question. Arijit, the slabs are of 5,000, starting as 1 and ending is 20,000. So I don't think so that is done. Yeah, so you have to change your slabs and everything, right? Okay, other question? You can work on that. Show me the other answer. Yeah, this looks correct. Good. Rituparna, let's look at your screen. What about guys in front of me? Whose screen can I check? This is not correct, Rituparna. Like I said, a week has all the days, Monday to Saturday. This is not correct. What about the other question? That you have to do. All right. Do both past. Correct. That is what it is doing. Please understand it. What it does, it finds the similar things and it clubs it. So this is what, if I click on it, what is it? Only Monday, right? But if I want a week has Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. But this is not just the week of one particular week. So all the different weeks in it. This is what? Which question? No, incorrect. No. There is no weekly deposit in your answer. This is correct. Some, not count. That because is it count or some will count. If you just count, how many counts are? Why do we need this? Why do we need a count type? Yes, ma'am. That's correct. Good. First one wrong. Nice. Next. Do fast. Could not do. Pivot designates. You come to your philosophy. First is correct. This is correct. Second. This is correct. Visualize. The key to be good in pivot is visualize. Half of you are not visualizing what the output should be. You're just blindly throwing things and expecting me to check your answers. What will happen when you guys start working? Who will check the answers? Boss will not check answers. Boss will give a kick. Boss is not going to be happy to explain. I don't know about you guys. Any working professionals are there? You think bosses in India have patience to explain why you're not wrong? They'll just tell you wrong and this is what it is. But they'll not explain you why you're wrong or why things have to be done. So let's not bank on bosses. Boss will probably cry and cry behind your back. Let's fire this guy. Sapura help chala sabir saji. Whoever will help, drop this now. Over here, okay, done, yes. That's not a good help. Shri status.
Now question number 1, can this look like this?
No. What was your name again? Somyati, right. Achha, you shifted the batch. I'm trying to look for your name everywhere. You in this batch, right? Can I do it? Yeah. Okay, check your answers. Devasmita, let me check yours because you've been asking me last time also. Devasmita. Okay, let's see your answer. So we have not ended pivots, by the way. We went halfway through. The rest half is still pending. First one is incorrect. Second one is correct. Again, I've been asking you if you see if you guys are putting weekday, what it is giving you a total of that particular day in all the entire month, right? But we're not talking about a particular day in entire month. We're talking about a week. So think about it. If I open my calendar in Excel, no, not in Excel, in whatever this is, computer calendar, you see a week. This is a week. This is a week. So it has to have 7 days in it. Then it makes a week. So what do? So sure, Sachin, let's look at your screen also and then I'll start discussing the questions. Not really, still not a week. Let's discuss. Second is correct, but the week one is still not correct. Okay, so how you would do it? We'll go to insert, pivot table. Let's create the pivot table over here. Sheet 1. All right, what do we need? We need the date. To make a week, I need a date. So I'm going to drop the date in the row and I need branch wise. So I need to put the branch in the column and put the amount in the value part. Once this is done, I'll get something like this. Daily deposit on each branch, something that you had previously, first question. Now we want to convert this into week, so we have to group. In grouping, we get an option of days because we have nothing called week, but we have days. And we can define, okay, group by 7 days. But you will also see, if you look at your question one, if you preserve this table, you will see that also will get grouped. Have anybody kept the question one answer or everybody is overwriting work? You guys are using, you will see that is also grouped now. That is not a single date anymore. They're all interlinked to each other. So any kind of things that you're changing in one could affect the other ones. Okay, so this is your group by week. Is it clear? Shri, clear? Because you were not listening to me. Hence I asked you, is it clear? That's what I showed. You guys are so mischievous students. I've been telling you again and again, look at my screen when I explain something. Don't want to do that. Right click, group, days and 7. I know that is a challenge. For example, what Sachin is saying, like, not all the time the week starts from 1. Right? Not all the time the week is starting from 1. So what you will do in that case, what I will do in that case, not a very good idea. But let's say in this case, if you look at March, 1st to 3rd is 1 week. It's not 7 days. So in the starting, instead of giving 1, I'll give 4. So that it bifurcates the top and it bifurcates. After that, it starts to work with 7 days. Yeah, I'll mess around with the starting date. Won't leave it at auto anymore. All right, Sachin? Okay. Next question was, this was easy, but then initial dates are ignored. It's not ignored. Nothing is ignored in pivots. All the data needs to get summarized. So if you remember when we did a grouping on the top somewhere, when I did the grouping over here, where did I group? In my sheet also, if you see, nothing is ignored. So we said I want to group by 6,000, just 6,000. But if there are any values more than 6,000, it is greater than 6,000. Similarly, if I change the starting dates, then it will be coming as less than 4th of March. And that will be grouped together. So nothing can be ignored. All the data gets summarized in pivot. Clear? How to remove pivot? You know, she's already done with pivots. Don't want pivots anymore. So if you want to get rid of pivots, you can't delete one portion of it. So you select the entire thing and press the delete button on your keyboard. Select the entire thing and delete it. You can't change one part. But why do you want to get rid of pivot? Is it overlapping? If sometimes it's overlapping, you can move your pivots. Or you can cut. Select the entire thing, cut and move it. That you do. Don't delete and remake it. You can move it around if it's overlapping and it's giving you errors. Or wrongly created. See, wrongly created, don't delete it. You can always go to field list and uncheck and bring it back to the normal set. Why do you want to start right from insert and all those things? Just uncheck these things and work on it again. Okay, last question. Let's do it quickly. What was it? Tell. Huh? Not interest. What I've given you as the last question, not the actual last question. How many accounts are present with the following account details? Okay. So in that, you will have to give amount in the row and account in the value. And then we are going to group it the amounts. Starting is 1, ending is 20,000, and grouping by 5,000. This should be the answer. Yes? All good?
For some reason, it's not working.
For some reason, what is not working there?
Ma'am, okay, you asked me to first of all click on to amount, put it in the row column. After that, account type. Am I correct?
Account type where?
In the value.
Right.
Okay, after doing so, ma'am, this is what it's coming. Sum of amount, account type. I'll show you now.
No, sit there. Verbally, I'll help you.
Uh, after account type appears here, beside account type, it's a total. Okay, so that's what is coming. Now I'm clicking on to one of them and I'm clicking on to group.
One second. What you have done is a count of account type. Hold on. And you put it in values, right? Then you put amount and you put it in Values.
Yeah.
Yes.
Amount is in values.
Values. So you put everything in values.
No, account type is in rows.
Account type is in rows. So what will you do by putting account types in the row? Why would you put account type in the row? Do you want a header with account types? So why did you put it?
Yeah, now I got the count of account type.
You got count of accountant. Was that the question?
How many accounts are present? Okay.
How many accounts are present in a specific amount? So what should be the header made of? Which field? One to 5,000, 5 to 10,000. Which field is this? Out of all this, which field is that? Five thousand, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000. What is that? Which field?
Slab.
Which field? Field of your pivot. Which field of this pivot table is it?
Okay, amount.
Amount. So what you need to drop over here in the row? Amount. You have to drop the amount in the row labels. And then you have to group it. Got it?
Madam, I'm getting an
Yeah.
error like this is Devashmita. I'm getting
Yeah, they
an
will.
error like a pivot table report cannot overlap another pivot table report. Um,
Right.
can you
So why is that?
yes, can you please allow me to share my desktop?
I can, but I can help you without looking at your desktop.
Okay,
Can I?
okay.
All
Yes,
right.
sure.
So what is happening? Like what I'm trying to do and what you guys are trying to do, we are trying to create multiple reports in one sheet. Right? Now, if you see what I've done over here, I have multiple reports. What happened over here? Okay, I've got multiple reports of sitting over here. Where did I write it? What happened to my reports? Let's say over here, Control Z. One second. That's what I did, right? I've been making reports in the same area for you guys. So there is one report over here. Let's say there's another report somewhere over here, right? Now, if you try to, whenever you put more than one report next to each other, you have to understand if your report is going to overlap the second one, you can't coexist. So it gives you a warning that it is overlapping. So what you should do in that case, you should pick a existing cell. When you pick up a location, Devasmita, when you pick a pivot table and you have to pick in existing worksheet a location, make sure it's little away from your other pivot tables. So that when you start putting things in it, it does not overlap with the others. So if you saw what I did, I was doing one on top of other, which is little better than doing one side by side. Because as soon as you change anything in the rows or columns, it will change it. So just pick a cell which is a little further away from the previous report. You will not get overlap error. Okay, all good. Like I said, this is just halfway through we have done in pivots. Who all are still working on 2007? Shame on you. Proudly raising the hand. Who all are working on 2007? Only one person. Others were doing this and then they put their hand down. Anybody else? Honestly, I want an answer. 2007. Nobody. Guys are online. Who all are on 2007? I'll catch you tomorrow if you don't tell me today. Nobody. Me. Okay. One. I've got two people who are on 2007. What I want you guys to do, me, three. First of all, four. When I said I'll catch you guys tomorrow, so I've got four. So first of all, it's 2019. Already Excel has come over 2019. So if you're in 7, you're way behind time. 12 years. Okay. Please upgrade yourself. But for tomorrow, before you figure out how you're going to upgrade your 2007, what I want for tomorrow is do a trial download of 2016 or 2019, whatever version you would. Okay, trial, 15 days trial, download of 2016 for tomorrow's class, because I would use something called slices for tomorrow, which do not exist in 2007. 2010, 13 onwards. So you're like, I'm in 10th. What do I do? I'm also 9 years behind. That's it. 10 is also fine because 10 has slices. 7 does not have slices at all. I know, Ivy is also a little behind. I will tell the ID guy to put the other version, trial at least for tomorrow. Tomorrow I want everybody on a higher version than 2007 because otherwise slices will go waste, which is important. So just do a download, 15 days trial, at least for tomorrow's class, and for practice you have it. Then you guys figure out how you want to upgrade. Okay? So I'll see you guys tomorrow and we'll continue with pivots. Don't forget today's class. Mandar, it's too early for you guys to start applying for job posting based on Excel, and that too we have not done complete Excel. But you can ask me what is your query. If you guys want to leave, you can. We're done.